everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time, I know, so apologies. We've been having lots of messages from people asking what's happening and where we're up to. So we'll go over a bit of that today. It's been a long old winter. We've been very busy with the tree planting side of things, but we have been doing a bit of work down the lake as well. So we'll go over that on the walk round. I think later on we'll have some amazing money saving tips for anyone that is managing lakes or ponds and want to do some aquatic marginal planting on the cheap. And the big question, the question that we get asked on every video and loads of DMs is, are we going to open up as a fishery? So we'll get more into that later on in the video, but stick around, we'll have a little walk around the lake, we'll show you what I've been up to, and hopefully save a few of you a few quid as well. It's really windy and I don't have my mic with me, so I apologise for that, but yeah, this winter we've kind of planted all this at the back of the lake. It's a mixture of elder, viburnum, and that's going to kind of back off the lake there and just close the lake in. It's 6 to 7 meters from the lake edge, but once this grows up, it'll be a nice flowery kind of shrubbery behind the lake. It'll kind of stop you viewing the fields behind and just make it a bit more private and intimate, and look lovely too. Behind this, actually, in this little section of field here, we've planted an orchard, all traditional species, mulberry trees, heritage apples, pears, cherries. So there's going to be a bit of an orchard back here, and then hopefully we can get some bees in ourselves on the site, which will be a real value add to the ecosystem. Get a couple of hives going once these trees are established. We chose a lot of flowering shrubs and trees anyway, so I'm sure the bees will find it a lovely little place to reside, and added benefit, we can get some honey out of it. Got our first flowering trees of the year. The bumblebees are already on it, so providing some early season nectar. It's good to see the lake come alive again. See, the hawthorn is just about to pop its flowers. That's where we are, spring-wise. And you can see on this bank down here too, we've got a lot more shrubs in tubes. We've had to put them in the tubes because of the deer giving up on trying to let it go naturally. The deer just keep hammering us, as we've stated in every video, so got some of the shrubs in the tubes, hopefully get them a bit more up and away this year. But this little shrub bank here is, yeah, it's really diverse, got loads of different species in it. And then I can imagine it being really lovely in a few years' time. Another one of the banks that we've just put a cluster of elder in. It'll blow right up, bush out, be full of flowers and berries for the birds. Yeah, it's fast growing too, so we should see this established really quickly. So with spring comes my planting season on the lake. Every year just trying to diversify the aquatic marginals and get a real good mix of plants in. Obviously we've talked before about how important they are to the nitrogen cycle, but that mix of species too, every plant has different species reliant on it. So by diversifying that mix around the outside of the lake and the ponds, you're allowing more species to use your site. And that could be certain nymphs, mayflies, mosquitoes. It's all important and part of the web of life around the lake ecology. And on spring days like this, where it's 15 degrees after a long cool winter, it's a task that I actually look forward to. What seems like a very popular idea these days is to remove snags from lakes. I see it all over the place on the fishery management groups and general fishery managers talking is they want to get in, remove all snags from lakes, remove the weed, dye it blue so no weed can come, and we're just going the complete opposite way to that. So we had a tree, got storm damage this winter, and we'll actually be removing the tree from where it fell down and dragging it over to the lake and introducing it to the lake as a snag. I got some footage of it the other day, which we'll roll now, putting it in place, and then we'll go and have a look at it and I'll explain why we're doing that. So here it is, it's all finished. Sure, a lot of you think I'm absolutely mental for sticking snags in the lake, but I'm super happy with it. This whole process building the lake, we're trying to get it from 0 to 100 as fast as possible. And the natural cycle of the lake would be, trees and shrubs grow up around it, and 15 to 30 years later, some of those would fall into the lake. And with a new pond, we can speed those processes up a little bit, and this is one of the methods I'm doing it. And the question is, why? So, although it is popular to remove them, they do provide amazing habitats. You'll find within a couple of years on this that the snails will be breeding on it, laying eggs on the underground branches. Creates great habitat for the newts to come out of the water and bask on. Provides shelter for the fish from predation. Nowadays, lots of people disregard that, but they do need a place to hide and go sulk and hide away. We've had kingfishers on the lake now for a couple of seasons, and for the most part, they perch on top of the tree tubes, which is not ideal. So you can imagine that this is going to be a great little perch for the kingfishers and other bird life as well. As the wood decays into the water, it is slowly releasing nutrients into the water, and it's a nice way to feed the algal process, which then is the bottom chain of ecology. So it's a nice slow nutrient release, It creates really micro specialized habitats down there that you'll find all kinds of invertebrates and bugs will like and find and hatch. So yeah, I think there's many reasons to have them. I think it's a shame that nowadays it seems in vogue to kind of get rid of all these features around ponds and lakes. But yeah, super happy. It's in. We'll probably stick another one in at some point. I've got some pretty dead ash trees over there and a cherry tree. Yeah, another feature done. I think it looks great, and hopefully it'll bed in and boost the ecology and biodiversity on the lake. It's moving some logs about on the lake, and this little guy was under it. We won't keep him long, we'll get him into the hedgerow by the stream there. But good to see that there's plenty of big newts kicking around on the lake. For all the people that said you can't have fish and newts together, as long as your stocking density's right, there you go. Alright, let's get him back in the hedge. So we're up here in the farmyard, and we're gonna talk about watercress. It's a fantastic plant, one that we've been trying to get established on the pond for the last couple of years, and we've got it going in clusters around, and I'll show you the way that we're doing it, which will save you an absolute fortune compared to buying the plants online. I think I had a look this morning, and for one nursery, for a 1 litre watercress plant was £15 per plant. You can get smaller plants from the nursery at £5.95 plus delivery per watercress plant, which is absolute bonkers. Like, do not do that. The watercress that you buy in the supermarket this stuff right here, supplied at other supermarkets other than Waitrose, but here's a Waitrose for an example. You get for about 90p a bag on special, or about £1.20 when it's not on special. That is exactly the same watercress as what you find in the wild. It's the same species, exactly the same. I'll show you what I do with it. Right here, I have a feed trough, and then I fertilise that feed trough with a bit of well-rotted manure, and then empty the bags of watercress into the feed trough. Leave it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and come back to it, and you'll see that all the watercress from the bags have sprouted their root systems, and they get real nice white roots running everywhere through the water. Once it's like that, and then take it from the feed trough and then transplant it into the lake. You can just go down to the lake with your bags of watercress and open the bags and chuck it in the lake. But I find this way, you pre-establish the root system. It has a lot more success rate at taking. And one of the other benefits of doing it in the feed trough is, once I put that well-rotted manure in there, we'll get a big algal bloom in there. And then from that, we'll get Daphnia colonising in it. So it turns into not only a little nursery for your watercress, but the Daphnia start blooming. You can just scoop out some Daphnia, go and seed the lake every few weeks with it. And we also stick in snails in the next few weeks from the pond, and they just breed and go to town in here. And again, we'll just constantly harvest the snails and the Daphnia out of the tank back into the lake. So really, it's a little growing system that turns your watercress at 90p a bag into thousands of plants. You know, I've got 10 bags of watercress there. That's literally thousands of plants, and at £5 a pop at the online nursery, well, that is saving you a lot of cash. So your watercress will go, but then you also have a snail and a Daphnia farm on the go for the summer too. So yeah, that's it. I'll show you what I do now, and we'll get this in, and that's done for the next few weeks. That's it right there. Just give that a couple of weeks maximum. They'll throw all the roots and then off we go. I will say that the watercress likes clean flowing water, so although this will be enough to kind of get it to root out, it does then want to be transplanted into a nice clean lake. It won't do well in a mucky lake. This is just a rooting stage for it. Here we are, a week later at the watercress trough that we put in. They've all boomed up, they've all got some nice growth on it now, and they've created a really good solid root system. A really good fibrous root mass is now growing in all of them. And they're ready for transplanting down at the lake. You can individually take them and plant them around the lake in different locations and spread the population around the lake. What I kind of like to do is go and put all of these together in one clump, and it's established clump then. It's like a plant what has been growing there for 5-6 years. It'll spread out over the lake surface and create really good habitats, get involved with the nitrogen cycle. I think I mentioned that earlier. But yeah, I really like to kind of plant them all together. And then start this process again, and then all summer just keep dumping these around the lake, and we should get a really good, nice matrix of watercress scattered around the lakes in between the bulrush and the iris and the bog bean and all that. So yeah, nice little tip for you there. One of the most popular questions we've got is whether or not we'll be a fishery. So I think that's worth a discussion a little bit. So originally we built the lake as a biodiversity net gain project, a BNG project, and it was built pre this legislation coming in. And basically, for anyone who doesn't know, if you're building now, any home developers or any building in general, they hammer you with a BNG charge, so you've got to replace the habitat that you're destroying. Most of the times you can do that on site, but where you can't do it on site, you can buy these off-site credits. And the lake was originally planned, designed and built for that scheme. Now, that scheme, as with all new schemes, the goalposts keep shifting, and it's a bit kind of here or there about, you know, how much in need these credits are for a lake system like this. So that's left us with a lovely lake, really. Even with the BNG schemes, it's encouraged to find alternate revenue models on top of the BNG. So that does leave the door open to open it as a fishery, which I'm sure a lot of you would be pretty happy to hear about. What or when or if we do that, I think it definitely will happen. When, though, is another question. You know, I'm pretty spoiled. I'm an angler myself, and I'm pretty spoiled with my angling. I'm very, very fortunate to be a part of Ashmead. That is my local water, and I help out down there. And that's the kind of waters I like to fish. I'm a pretty snobby angler these days, I guess. And it's wild. For anyone who doesn't know what Ashmead is, it's a wild wetland, and it's just an incredible place to be for nature, for wildlife, for fishing, the whole 9 yards. And I wouldn't really expect people to kind of come and fish my place in the way it is right now. I would want, the only way I'd like for people to come and experience it from an angling point of view is when it's fully mature, when it's grown in, so it doesn't look like one of these run-of-the-mill dugout farm ponds, and that takes time. Also, you know, the fish we stocked at £5, £6, so they're real small still. We were going to net the lake this year and just do a stock sample of how they're getting on, but yeah, for whatever reason that didn't pan out, so I think we'll push the netting back until this October, November, and then we'll run the nets through it and just have a look at how the fish are doing. We know that the roach population is very high right now, and that's the reason we were going to net it, to reduce that population. But they're having the added benefit of mucking up the water a bit, and that's slowing down the Canadian, and that is my other invasive species which has arrived at the lake. If we can leave it another summer of it being a bit mucky, hopefully that Canadian slows down and I can introduce my other more native oxygenating plants, and hopefully they can overtake the Canadian. It's the rough thinking, whether it works or not. But anyway, that's a massive tangent. Yes is the answer. I think there will be an opportunity for angling on the lake in the future. When, there is no promises of that. I think what we'll probably do is offer it up to the subscribers to the channel. They're the ones which have kind of followed the build from the beginning and supported it. So yeah, if you're a subscriber of the channel, you will probably pick one of you guys to come and at least be the first anglers, if not draw the anglers from the channel subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed already, there you go. There's a good motive to get subscribing. But yeah, I think that's it on the angling front. So I think that's it for this video. We've got some projects coming up. We've got a pathway to make down into the lake. We've got some more cabin building happening this summer, so we've got to finish that cabin off. And then I'm sure I'll do an update video of once it's all fully flushed out, the lake with the reeds and the aquatic marginals. And we'll get that in. If you haven't done already, like and subscribe. You know, it really does help get it out there. And then we'll see you again in the next one.
For more information about our projects and to get involved, head over to www.creatingtomorrowsforest.co.uk.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below and subscribe to our channel.